reference it and joke about it. I don't care.
You're actually going to be doing it.
Yes. I'm
Well,
trying
listen-
to paint them.
Listen, this is all part of the
I can unlike the two of you, men, I can multitask.
It smells bothering me.
Oh, God damn it. I hate everything everywhere.
Honestly.
There is nothing I don't dislike right now.
This is ridiculous.
Well, listen, you've seen him react to, like, tastes. It's a strong reaction. This is my favorite episode right now.
Also, you could put your whole entire focus on the podcast, too.
Well, listen, I think we both know that you and me, mostly me, like 70% me, 20% you, 10% Sam is like the ratio of
Generally.
of ability
I mean,
and talent.
usually I'm usually the one that comes in with the extra information about other stuff.
She comes in, she snipes, she does a little research. She's like who's the chick that the woman of African descent on the Howard Stern show? Robin, yeah, she's like her.
I don't fucking watch that.
Me neither. But okay, so look, welcome to the Transmit Podcast. I'm your host, Spike.
Oh, I'm Victor.
I'm Samantha.
And Samantha is doing her nails. And listen,
Apparently I'm not anymore. Now I'm just removing the overpaint that I did.
Look, I personally support your decision to exercise your creative outlets right now. Listen, it's cool. Victor, I think you need to support your woman.
Who switches that?
That looks like Anthony's.
Anthony.
Yeah, Sam has the small one. And I have...
His Joy-Con started acting all messed up, so he borrowed one from Mason today.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, he has several. I saw him, like, when I still lived over there. He like, did a build with some special ones. Like, he got really into working with his hands. Now he's painting figurines. Like
He's always done that.
Well, he got more into it when I was doing a thing. Oh, and my watch is telling me it's time to stand. He saw me... Yeah, he saw me making knives, and he was like, well, I can't just be outdone. So the second I get a sweet forge, he says, well, I can't be outdone. I need a little workshop of my own. Mine's more masculine and therefore better.
If that's what you have to tell yourself.
I don't have to tell myself. I just have to accept the truth into my heart.
I don't think it's more masculine. I think it's just more manly. I think that's the word you're looking for.
Either way, I think it works.
It's nice that you have a hobby.
It's true. Like, once we get a shed here, you're going to see me make some kniffs.
Because it makes me think of this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience where Kevin Smith goes on, right?
Oh, yeah?
And Kevin Smith's hobbies like include like comic books, film, and like like action figures and stuff.
Those are very Kevin Smith things.
And weed,
Yep.
But he was kind of emasculated by Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's hobbies are like knives, hunting.
And MMA.
Alchemy.
Weed.
Weed.
Oh, wait, they both like weed.
MMA.
He literally he practices martial arts, and if you see him with his shirt off, he's ripped.
Yeah. He also does
literally looks like a gorilla.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of goals, but also he does like human growth hormone. So
I
don't think I
was actually gonna ask you, can we do some human growth hormone together
on the show? Yeah.
Not on the. Well, I mean either or. Listen, we just inject it. I guess.
I don't want to see the two of you putting needles in each other's ass cheeks.
I think we do it to ourselves. Yeah, it's the thigh for one.
Okay, the ass cheek. That's for
old
school.
That's for like large dose antibiotics. They did that to me in the Navy. They give you what they call the peanut butter shot, and they do it twice because like a convention or any big group meeting, it's a cesspool of fucking disease, and everyone's sick. You get like con flu, except it's boot camp flu.
What flu?
Con flu. You ever heard of con flu?
What is con flu?
When you go to a convention.
Oh, Comic-Con.
Yeah,
convention.
Any kind of convention flu, because you just get people from across the country showing up, bringing all of their germs and breathing and not showering enough, and you get basically that, and that is because the same deal, same thing applies there. Is like people from across the country show up at boot camp, and it's like the truest melting pot you're ever going to see. Oddly enough, a lot of black people at the remedial swim class in the Navy. So I think there is some truth to that stereotype. Okay, so
from what you saw,
there's like actual reasons for why black people have not been in pools, right?
Oh yeah, it's the hairstyles.
No,
Yeah, like a lot of that hair, it does not react well to water.
that's really not why.
I know. I'm fucking with you. Jesus Christ.
If it didn't react, that would be like.
Hey, remember that?
Imagine like humans.
You
who
remember that
couldn't-
picture of that white pool manager dumping bleach in the pool
Listen, that's just for good sanitary purposes. You got to make sure.
with black people who were swimming?
Well, yeah, you got to clean it out. Like, he's taking extra care of the black community.
You know that's not.
I know. I'm fucking
Funny.
again. I am fucking with you again.
I'm not saying you're not fucking with. I'm saying it's not funny.
I think it's great.
It's not funny.
Oh, you know what?
It is.
Yeah, like
it's
racism
really
is
not.
Racism is dumb and should be made fun of.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's not making
yeah,
fun
it's
of
not
it.
making fun of
That's
it.
absolutely making
No,
fun
it's
of it.
not.
No, you're.
It's like,
See, I
You're
can't-
trivializing it.
You're not making fun of racist people. You're making fun of black people.
I'm not making fun of black people.
Yeah,
I'm
you
making,
are.
Okay, this is
I'm
what you
making
sound like.
fun of
This
the
is what
ni-
you sound like.
Okay.
This is what you sound like, Spike.
okay.
So this pool manager, he was pouring bleach into the pool of black people, which because he wanted to clean it out because it had black people in it.
That's making fun of the naivete that some people would use to demean the actual like seriousness that you should take towards like
you
these
could
sorts
you
of
could
issues.
say like so like he's like a dumbass. So he was pouring bleach into a pool. 'cause
Okay, but that's
he's
more
an idiot.
insulting than it is like a joke. Like, listen,
Insulting to who?
to the white guy.
no, yeah, to the white guy, because yeah, you're.
Oh, what
saying-
about the black people that he was trying to
well, 'cause,
poison?
well, listen, if you want to be a humorous podcast, you can. Yes, you can do. You can't like go the fire and brimstone
So
route.
you don't like making fun of white people?
No, I make fun. Like
Are you
making fun
afraid
of
that
people.
the white people are going to come after you and be
Listen,
like, "Hey, you
we
made fun
need-
of us"?
We need to take care of our white audience. Listen, I'm not saying they need to be coddled, but what I am saying is we need to
They're
like
very
take extra,
fragile
we need to take
snowflakes.
extra care of them.
because
because
they're
they ha-
fragile snowflakes that can't stand the
Because they
thought
don't-
of being told that anything that they have ever done or said or thought is wrong.
And they don't have privilege.
No,
either.
they have the money. Seriously, what are you talking? All this fragility talk? No, they have the money. Jesus Christ, you're always talking about being like sponsored. It's like what? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I don't want white sponsors. Fuck that.
I want like white sponsors. They got the money.
But they're not racist though. The ones with the money aren't racist.
Well, I mean, they're usually liberal, so they'll tell you that no, they're not racist. So I don't know. Like I've seen all the actors. They did that video where they're like, "I take responsibility." For
Okay, that
all
was
of
just a
racism."
very tasteless,
That was so.
tone deaf. I shouldn't even be saying tone deaf. That was just a very tasteless, piss poor,
Look, there's a reason very
bullshit thing that they did.
there's a reason very few of them are actors and screenwriters. It's because they focused on acting and not like anything else. They're good actors, but they're not like super smart.
But you do think you do think racists are stupid, right?
Yes, that's why you make fun of them.
Say
it's,
it.
Racist are stupid. That's why you make
Thank you
fun
for
of
making
them.
him say it.
Jesus Christ, we mean thank you.
It's now the KKK is gonna come after you. You're gonna be
Oh,
walking around with
bring
one.
it on. Oh, in Southern California, there's a huge clan. Like
Yes,
I've-
there is.
there's
Have
a
you ever
hu- a
been to
huge-
Santee?
yes, I went to a actually I went to a
A
concert.
rally? You went to a rally?
No, I went to a concert and like actually not in Santee, but further out in the sticks, and there's like a guy with a white pride tattoo on his belly. And he looks like if you had to run for it, he would not be able to keep up with you very long.
Yeah, I know.
I trained martial arts, and this guy was not like a scrapper.
Yeah, they're not. Unfortunately,
I think the
they're
last,
not the greatest people.
yeah, the last like,
They're not the greatest specimens of our time.
No,
or
they are
society.
not. Yeah,
Humanity.
absolutely. Yeah, the last time I read there's a news article, they estimated them at like 5,000 people for the country, in the Klan.
5,000 people in the Klan. Yeah, I know. I saw this one comedian talking about how he met someone on Craigslist
Yeah.
trying to recruit people for the Klan on Craigslist.
Oh, nice.
And he was like saying, that's how you know we've made progress when they're on Craigslist
They're
trying to get
fucking- yeah.
recruits instead of like, big
Their
corporations.
churches.
Yeah, they're not doing marches anymore. They're like
No.
they're
But they are still doing little tiny rallies though,
yeah,
and barbecues.
yeah, and once you're down to barbecues and little tiny rallies, you're like, okay, listen, keep making fun. You need a specimen of this to point to and to say that is stupidity.
Well, no, they're organizing online and holding, like, sort of online gatherings and recruitment online. Like, a lot of it is done through private Facebook groups.
Well, that's true of every group nowadays.
Yeah.
Anyone who's grown up with a cell phone is going to be doing that.
And then I had something else to say about them. The Klan.
Well, I know you keep me around because I'm really good at getting like stains out of white sheets. I just figured you knew, where that skill came from. Like when I told you I'm a wizard, I didn't mean in the D&D sense. There's a grand in front of that.
You just make sure that.
So now you have to
just make sure that you're not Facebook friends with like your mom or any of
you have to explain that.
half siblings from your mom's side.
You have to explain that one now.
Actually, given the shifting demographics in the country, we have had to lower our acceptance standards. So recently we had Jose and Ling Tao. They both lit the cross on fire the last week. We've listen.
That was really tasteless.
We
too.
all had to change with the times, and look.
You have to explain that joke. Like all good jokes, they must be explained.
Oh, really? That I have a white sheet that I wear, or like the Grand Wizard one? I forget. It's like, I am not a Klansman. I'm half Mexican. Jesus Christ.
Like all good jokes, you have to explain them to everybody.
Oh, I think that one was pretty cool. I guess we're not talking about Star Trek Picard this one, and that's fine.
No, this is just how much can we make Spike uncomfortable by calling out his dumb jokes.
Oh, please. If you see me online, it takes a lot more to make me uncomfortable.
And yet the stuttering.
Okay, for one, we're in the same room, and I'm just talking, and I'm a little buzzed, actually. This is like my third whiskey.
That's always the excuse.
You want me to talk about work?
Oh, sure.
I had a coworker who went to, I think she went to the Midwest somewhere because she went to visit family in a state that starts with M, I believe.
Michigan.
Mississippi, Massachusetts, Missouri.
Michigan.
One of those.
Montana.
One of those.
Macross. Oh, wait, no, that's
she saw this. She was walking down the street and she saw the sign that said, your local neighborhood lynch mob or something.
Oh,
and
God.
Then she was like, and then she was like, wait. She's like talking to her family members and she's like, wait, you live in this neighborhood? You like living here?
Yeah, that's how little of a problem racism is. You put a sign out that says we're a lynch mob and you're like, you're not fucking lynch mob. You're a bunch of dipshits.
Or it just
or
shows
it's
you
just
how
a very white town.
it just shows you how alive and well it is, and they probably don't have very many black people for them to put stuff up like that.
Like we live in the information age. That shit's going up online at some point. Like
Not
necessarily. That's like if a gang.
Exactly. There are a lot of very insular towns.
I'm with.
Things are just coming out.
At some point, someone's going to take a. At some point, I believe someone will take a picture of it.
Yes, but what I'm saying is
So
a lot of places. Okay, I'm not saying he's wrong. What I'm saying is a lot of places are still very insular, and there's not a lot talked about these places until now. So we wouldn't hear about them until now because people keep a tight ship.
True, and
that may be the case, but there's also might be the case where if you're like, if a gang shows up and says we are going to kill you, and you're like, no, you're fucking not. It's like this is this is MS-13 territory, and you still just walk around with your money hanging out of your back pocket. There are a number of options here that we're getting like a fourth-hand account of this. I hit my thing with whiskey.
But yeah,
yes,
so that just shows you
more.
that racism still is alive and well in small groups and stuff out there.
Oh yeah,
and it's funny because they no longer feel empowered anymore, like they used to back in like the 60s or the 50s.
Yeah.
So they feel like a disenfranchised group.
Well, they got Napoleon syndrome, so they have to like really push it out.
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of people.
Is that what it sounds like when you're trying to take a shit?
No, I actually, given my diet now, I've been very healthily shitting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
How many times a day do you shit?
Actually, it's gone up. Like
that's good.
From what to what?
Okay, like when back in the day when I ate like shit, it was always an emergency, always liquid, and it was like once a week. Now it's like a couple of times a day.
That's fucking horrifying.
Oh, let me tell you, it was like this. I don't know if I told.
Your fucking exam story is just bad.
Oh, did I tell that on the podcast? Where I was like halfway through a 2-hour exam, like literally at the halfway point.
Yeah, I think you told that story.
Well, I still like saying it. Like I had to tell my like petty officer first class. I like waved him out into the hallway, and I said, "Look, I am going to be shitting in 15 minutes, inside of 15 minutes, whether I am over a toilet or not. And there's one of those times where you have to just say, like, listen, I ate poorly the other day, and it's hitting me now. Like, every now and then I'll lose control, and I'll be like, okay, listen, it's time to eat Burger King. Other times I'll be like, no, I'm eating a sandwich, and I'm eating some grapes and some tangerines and some vegetables.
I know when we're in your 20s, our body can handle like pretty much any type of food.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
and we
whatever.
can like survive anything.
Oh, yeah.
As you get older, it's like, you know how you hit a food limit when you're eating?
Now you just have ulcerative colitis and
Yep.
You have a food
IBS all the time.
You have like a food category limit. It's
Yep.
like, oh, I can't. Instead of like, oh, I can't eat any more burritos today. It's like, I can't eat any more burritos for the rest of my life now.
Pretty much, yeah. Actually, I'm still at like once a week or at most. But listen, I've actually been pretty good. I felt comfortable enough. I was telling Sam about this that I for the first time in a while felt comfortable taking a shirtless run because I have a farmer's tan, and that's how my sensei he like evened out his tan. Is like when you do your like 26-minute run, you just keep your shirt off. Yeah. And only one dude, like, on the way, like, I was at the very end of it, like, said, hey, I had my headphones in, but I saw him make eye contact and, like, lift his head in my direction because his girlfriend was on the other side of the car, like, tying something down to the top of it. And they both took a look at me. And I choose to think that they both saw that I'd, like, improved myself physically.
Even though they had no idea what you looked like before.
Can I keep this, please, for me so I don't, like, think that, like, they thought of me as that douche who runs around with no shirt? I just, like... I'm sure if I stopped and said, no, I have a farmer tan, as you can see.
That's probably what they were looking at as the farmer's tan.
They're probably looking at the farmer tan, but obviously I'm taking steps to improve that. That's like
also, it's like rare to see shirtless people, so whenever you see them, you kind of just look at them.
Yep. Actually, but I can see the top two abs. That's the problem is, like, I can see the top two. It's just the other ones that are like both small and covered in a little goo.
Yeah, you just got to keep running and doing sit-ups.
Okay, yeah. Well, not the sit-ups, because that's what gave me the top two. The problem with the Navy gave me the top two because you do crunches for like your physical exam.
Oh, you need to do like leg lifts?
Yeah, I do leg lifts. I do cross leg lifts, and I use the ab roller, which goes deep.
Well, I said sit-ups, I meant like ab exercises.
That's I understand. I'm just making sure that because the sit-ups are good, but that's
do you
only
do the
part of
ones where
equation.
you have your feet up in the air and you're trying to touch your toes while you're laying on your back?
Those
are really good for lower abs.
Those are. I bet those are good too. But I feel it really deep with the ab roller, because I just go. I actually can get it out to there till my arms are almost straight.
You're actually using your like whole entire core to do that.
Yes.
That's why it feels. So
And there's
deep.
there's a contortionist on TikTok that showed a bunch of other ab exercises that I do as well. So there's those cross leg lift things and outward leg, and then you kind of like do this worm like squirm on the floor.
I was doing the cross leg lifts today earlier.
Oh yeah, those work. Like several times this month, I've had like sore abs. It's been awesome.
That's good.
And I've lost weight. Like I felt comfortable. The reason I took off my shirt is because I felt comfortable doffing my shirt and running 3 miles. Well, like 3.3 miles. Also, I love my Apple Watch for that purpose. It's great for that. Okay, so
how many miles did we walk today?
We got about a mile.
Oh, you should get an account.
20, like a 20-minute mile, which is actually not bad.
That's pretty good for walking. Oh yeah, that's great. You should do Strava and like keep track of that because I'm on Strava and my sensei's on Strava, and you can give each other kudos.
No.
And it keeps track of that and like
No.
Why not?
Why not?
I don't want to participate in anything you do.
You
Even this is a stretch.
in health. Okay, since we're not talking about Star Trek.
Wait, so you already knew what Strava was?
When he started saying you should do Strava, and I immediately realized that he was talking about the app that he uses to track and social media post about his activities.
It also keeps track of like your goals and also like the other day I did my best mile time because I've been slowly increasing my time, and it keeps track of that sort of stuff. And since I have the Apple Watch, it's actually really accurate when you're running. All right, look, since we're not talking about Picard, which is cool because I'm still absorbing the next 2 episodes. Let's talk about a couple other things I noticed online.
How many drinks are you in?
That many.
3. Okay, look, that was not a drunk thing. That was just I forgot.
That was just
perfectly timed.
That was very perfectly timed.
It's
It's
just
like if I say
if I just say
how many drinks you're in, and all of a sudden like out of nowhere.
I knocked.
A
something
fucking
over.
Daniels.
flask falls over.
I don't fucking care what you think about my drinking. I just think you should shut the fuck
Actually,
up.
did you know that whiskey is actually really good for your digestive tract if you like small doses, because it kind of helps flush it, and it's like an antibacterial kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
I am super clean of bacteria.
But moderation, small amounts.
Yeah, like half a handle. Okay.
This is why he's not going to live that long.
No, I'm gonna live long because my insides are protected by a layer of antibiotic alcohol. Okay.
No.
So, would you like to learn about money or Netflix?
What? I'm curious what you think you're going to teach us about money.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so I
Wait,
oh
and it's also something to learn about Netflix too.
no,
so
it's
this is
two,
the
those
educate-
are,
this
those
is
are
the
two separate things.
This is the educational portion.
Let's go with educational and look for purposes of this podcast.
Is there going to be a cha-ching? I was hoping there was going to be like a cha-ching since he's talking to us about money.
Well, see that
Disappointed.
that's going to be the thing for the learning segment of the podcast. Well, I learned a problem I think we have in this culture about money
Okay.
is that it's all very ethereal right now.
Okay.
So that's why people have to have like apps to keep track of where their expenses are going, because instead of having to peel off like a series of 5s or 20s
Mhm.
to pay for stuff, you just hit a button on your phone and you're subscribed. And that's why people don't save money. That's why people feel okay to spend money on like frivolous
Oh.
lunches. And I realized because you saw that bag of money I had, I value that money like of hard cash that I've like earned through like people appreciating the service I provide far more than I value like the money in my bank account that I like earned on an hourly basis, because that's a tangible thing that I've counted and kept track of.
Mhm.
And I think for more responsible like in the future money handling across the board, we need some like way to like keep us more intact with our money. It may need to be like bank. I'm not sure how it would be implemented, but we should encourage people to be more in sync with the money they're putting out. Like there should be
Mhm.
notifications like, okay, today you're paying your cell phone bill. And like actually I'm more aware of that because my cell phone bill does that. But also Netflix doesn't send you a text that says, oh, hey, we're taking $12 out of your account.
Yeah, I know.
And all your
Um,
other subscriptions don't say, oh, hey, $15 going out today.
Yeah.
And I think like they don't have an incentive to do that, but it would help people be more responsible and generate wealth. Because instead of losing that money, or instead of saying here's your fast food budget for the week, they would say, that would be a better way of doing it than just being like, oh, just spend the money. No keeping track of that.
There
I like
actually
this
are
topic.
apps like that, though.
There are. Well, that's the problem is we have to have apps instead of like it's just
A
ingrained into.
notification.
Instead of it's being ingrained in us in our school system that says, hey, you should use this app, or this is how much people normally spend on dining out a year. Home ec is still like, bake some cakes.
Yeah, I feel I don't. So okay, I'm gonna be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist,
Go for it. Put that
Um,
tinfoil hat on.
and I'm gonna use they the way that conspiracy theorists use they.
As an ethereal, like the lizard people.
They as in they don't want us to save money.
They're turning the freaking frogs gay.
They want us to spend.
Well, obviously. I mean, it is good for a healthy economy, but it's not good for you as an individual.
Yeah, no, and they again, they don't care about us as individuals.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of your own personal responsibility to look into your just keep track of
finances.
your finances. And I used to pretty frequently look at my bank account like every day. I'd open my Schwab account, not Schwab, my SDCCU.
Mm-hmm. That's
Now
a
everyone-
good one. That's a Navy Federal subsidiary.
Yeah, so everyone knows what bank and what brokerage I have, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I learned that.
So-
Oh, sorry.
So like I felt that way too.
Mhm.
Like before I started becoming more financially literate, like money was ethereal to me, and like it would just deplete, and then like I didn't know what was happening. I was like, why? So I make $600, a week, but then
It was just
I'm negative
gone.
$500.
it's gone. It's like, what the fuck happened? It's like, well, you ate $5 $10 lunches.
It's like every week my bank account's at zero. It's like, why is it? Do I exactly spend how much I make?
Well, okay, because it's like you do reach homeostasis, but that's not good for like your bank account.
No, it's not. It's not good for long term wealth.
No, it is not.
You're just surviving.
Yeah.
And then when you make more money, then you're like, oh, now I make $700 a week, and now it's like, now I'm still at zero all the time. Like, where'd that extra
Where
$100?
the fuck? It's like, yeah, well, and then you're like holding your night vision goggles that you thought would look really cool. It's like, where the fuck did it go? It's like,
But,
quick, get that sword I bought online.
And and then you were talking about your cash and your your paper money. So
Yeah.
you've got your app money that is just in your bank account. We'll just
Right.
call it paper money, and then
Yeah.
no, that doesn't clear things up. Your digital money.
There you go.
Your digital money is right there in the bank, and you're looking at it, and you don't appreciate that as much as because you can just spend it and you don't feel a loss. It's just a number going down.
Yeah.
While with your cash, you feel like it physically depleting.
Yeah, like I deposited today. Like I dropped off Sam and Anthony at the rental place,
Mm-hmm.
and I just missed the window to like go to the Navy Federal and like talk to a teller and just hand her a wad of cash
Mm-hmm.
because I got like $600 in tips. It was great, but then I had to go to the ATM and like shove it in like 30 bills at a time, and it was a massive pain in the ass. But it's still like then it's all in that system again. But
Now
I
it's
still
all ethereal again.
but I still felt it as I gave it there because it felt really good to hold $600 in cash.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the why I do this thing where I have like 2 checking accounts, one that has no card attached to it. That's where I get like direct deposits to, and one that has the card attached to it,
Mm-hmm.
so that I have to like transfer money over. So I'm always feeling that loss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah, I find that really helps like keep me from like when I look at it like, oh, I'm down from $50 to like 3. What the fuck's going on? It's been 2 days. What happened?
Yeah, I know. For me, I personally don't like holding cash.
I understand.
I don't like having cash on me. I feel it like frees me up, and I feel if I have cash, I'm just gonna like spend it. So I'm kind of in a different scenario.
Yep.
But the money is no longer ethereal to me. Like, I look at the numbers and like they're in my head and like
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
educated yourself a lot on this.
You
yeah, so-
interact with it every day.
So like the numbers, like I keep track of them and stuff, and the numbers have become real in my head to me.
Yeah, a lot of people are still in between where we were as kids and where we both are now.
Yeah.
So like they're still in this zone where it's like, oh, I got direct deposit today. Time to buy something stupid.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be like, okay, I make this much, and I do the math.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be spending this much. I should have this much in my account. I
Yeah.
should be saving like $300 or something a month or something like that.
Yeah, I'm up to 15K in my checking. Listen, I'm poor, so it doesn't matter. I don't. Well, yeah, it's in my checking, and I have like a few thousand more in like various certificates,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking about moving some of it over to certificates. I don't feel like I don't think you should be too much ashamed, especially if you're wherever you are in life about how much money you have, unless you've done something insanely stupid. Talk about your finances.
Now, 15K in savings.
Not in
Actually-
savings. I have 400 in savings, 15K in checking, and about 4,000 in certificates.
So 15. Well, we'll just say you're saving it though. So it's
Yeah, I
kind
am
of
saving it.
that's kind of like a savings account.
My
kind of.
goal was to break the amount that most like the average like American doesn't have couldn't get a $3,000 expense paid for. So that started out as my goal.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Is like you're way above the average American right now.
Yeah, and that's why I think like you should start thinking at the very start thinking about what the average American can do and try to beat that. And then try to beat the next thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been saving. And I still have several thousand, actually a couple of grand in podcasting equipment. And because I spaced out my expenditures, and I'm always mindful of that.
So now the audience knows that you have money.
I have a little bit of money.
And if the audience listening is the average American, you're considered rich, so they're gonna try to like rob you one of
Boom.
these days. They're gonna
Bring it
find
on. I'm also a martial artist. I'm gonna fight you. Well, yeah.
I don't have that much in my checking account.
Well, let me
Or
say
my
one.
bank savings
while
account?
while you look that up, let me tell you, like, unless there's a non-disclosure agreement, don't hesitate to talk to your fellow employees about what you're getting paid for.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, like,
No, you got more than me.
well, I mean, but you also have a lot of holdings.
Yeah. Where is most of your money though?
Yeah, most of your money is we're in your money right now.
Some of my money. A little bit, I guess, in this property. I guess.
Yeah.
Some Bitcoin. Some.
You own the backyard, I think, at this point. Like the whole backyard, you own at this point, given what you've paid into it.
Possibly, and then I've got some Schwab.
Yeah.
Schwab is actually doing. My Schwab account's doing pretty good. I've made some good decisions there.
Nice.
And if I had made really good decisions, I'd have way more money. But my good decisions are offsetting my my bad decisions.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still up in the market.
hey, that's fine, and I think the market's going to improve.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I hope it does, but yeah, at least in the long term.
Yeah.
Short term is still kind of iffy because
because
the
it's
coronavirus and
2020.
stuff.
Let's just say
Yeah.
it's 2020. It's a rough time for everybody.
2 or 3 years. I think now is still a good time to buy.
Oh,
in,
probably,
though.
yeah. I think
2 or 3 years, you're gonna wish you had like bought these
I
prices.
think I'm gonna like use that $600, and I'm gonna like do that Robin Hood thing.
Yeah, you should do it. Oh, there's some sad news about Robin
Oh, what's
Hood.
going on with that?
So what happened was a 20-year-old kid.
Shit.
He was doing some options trading,
Mm-hmm.
and he opened his app one day, and it was down. He was at negative 700,000
Holy fuck.
in his Robinhood account. That was his buying power, right? But he still had $16,000 in cash. But so then he ended up killing himself because of that. And then now his family's trying to bring awareness to Robinhood and trying to push efforts to try to change the interface so that it doesn't show like a big red.
Yeah, I can
No.
see how that would, because remember, like you heard about the Great Depression when everyone saw
Yeah.
like their values drop to zero. People were just jumping out of windows, and so this
that's very
is
sad and
nothing
unfortunate.
new. But yeah, I mean, given the fact that you were in a very woke time where like people are trying to like be sensitive to these sorts of things, you should like, if you lose a bunch of money, you should also say like, hey, look, you haven't lost any money until you pull your money out.
Yeah, and that wasn't even really his money. That was the leveraged
Yeah.
money, or not the leveraged money. The what do you call it? The margin
Right.
money that he borrowed from Robinhood. He just had to. All he had to do was wait a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Make some better decisions. He's only 20. At 22, he could have gotten all that back plus
Yeah.
more.
Well, what they were saying is that was. It wasn't even wait a couple years. It was like wait a day.
Seriously.
It was settling because like the market was closed or something, and so but it was going to fix itself.
So you know the story?
Yes.
I think the
Of course, I freaking know this story. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck did Robinhood do now?
Yeah, I think, especially given how like woke and interactive and how fast money moves now, it would be a good idea for them to say, "Hey, look, have like a disclaimer that says it's not as bad as you think it is." Like, just like because so much of like how we interpret the world is through the media, and how, like and in whatever form it takes. If they just soften the blow. Like, cause right now it's like whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or even Robinhood now, like just a stock trading app. If they took the time to say, okay, look, you're in an echo chamber right now, but here's like a word from outside this little bubble you've made for yourself, and it's not as bad as you think it is, I think that would help a lot. But that doesn't help with like getting ad revenue or getting like your clicks.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate that we live in a society like that.
And that's the problem. That's the problem of our time, really. That's the in a lot of ways that's the real problem of our time is instead of just like a more rounded news sphere, we get like here's your little bubble, and here's this guy's little bubble, and here's this guy's little bubble, and we're going to tell you exactly what you want to hear.
I think, what's his name? Ryan George. He did a really good.
I know the name. What does he do?
I think his name is Ryan George. He's the, what is it called? The one who does the movie pitches. The pitch meeting. He did one where it was like if the news was a person.
Yeah, and it's all bad. He doesn't even like single out like that's what I like about it. In that one, he didn't even single out like CNN or Fox. He's just like, here is what the news does: is everyone is going to kill you.
Yeah, and then like my favorite part was the guy that comes out, and this is my friend. He sells cars. It's like, oh yeah, he's just trying to freak us out because his friend's trying to sell cars.
Right.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna let my friend talk for a little bit. He's like, hey everybody, buy a car.
Yeah, and so one of the many reasons I have a problem with the media in general. Okay, look.
Yeah, it's entertainment and.
Wow, this feels like very beautiful and nice, and we're at 35 minutes already. Like, this feels like 10 minutes, right? We are literally at 35.
No, it feels like it's
To me, it
35
feels like
minutes.
I've really enjoyed this. It feels like 35 minutes. I wanted to talk about one Netflix thing just to lighten it up a little bit.
All right.
Okay, so there's a new show. It's
Okay.
called The Floor is Lava.
Yeah. I
Okay,
saw
like
that
listen,
that
I'm
was
gonna look up the trailer because like
I heard of this, but I haven't seen anything.
look we're gonna listen to a little bit of this.
What's happening?
So here we go.
It's the hottest game show in history.
See if you can look at it. They have a room and the red liquid under there, and the whole it's like Ninja Warrior except for children.
Make it to the exit without falling in. The team with the most points wins.
You have to make it across a room, and the whole floor is lava. Tables, like obstacles.
Make it from the entrance to the exit, and your team earns a point.
Like at this
Fall
point,
in,
we have
and you're
completely
out.
infantilized adults.
Yeah, that's our generation,
The
millennials, right
obstacle
there.
course
Full
is colossal.
millennial,
The
like,
leaps are epic,
who has
and
the
you
purchasing
really
power?
wanna stick your
Millennials.
landings because the floor
Who do we need to market to? Millennials. What did they know? Well, the floor is lava, obviously. Like I remember as a child, like I was like walking around on the roots of a tree in grade school, and they just assumed I was playing the floor is lava, but realistically, I was just saying to myself, "Oh, just hop along the roots." That's how ubiquitous that game was to us.
That's funny. Yeah, the floor's
And
lava.
I'm gonna watch it a little bit, honestly.
That sounded like that sounded like Trey Parker or Matt Stone.
It did a little bit.
The narrator
Yeah.
in that, he's like, "No new game show coming to Netflix.
That is like the algorithm.
the floor is lava.
The algorithm to the max is the floor is lava. But realistically, like we both like. Have you seen like?
Two teams have to compete against each other.
Have you seen Most Extreme Elimination Challenge?
No.
You never saw MXC? Have you?
No, I was gonna say another
Okay.
thing. You were showing me this thing about Gen Z making fun of millennials. How we're
Yeah,
so
Gen Z is fucking ripping into millennials on like
Oh,
Twitter and
millennials,
TikTok
we are the
and
like,
everywhere.
Overall, we are the worst.
they're trying to make fun of like how millennials are like too childlike.
Seriously.
We can't let go of our childhoods.
Seriously, it is the worst. Like for all of our like,
Gen Z's already grown up. It's like we're already adults. I
it's
don't
like
know what's up with
you
these
like
millennials.
it's adults looking backwards at people who should be like mentoring them. But the people who should be mentoring them are like sitting there like, let's talk about Thundercats. And that's why I'm always sitting.
That's why when we're trying to like talk to our Gen Z one night stand,
You're si-
and like we're trying to tell her about the stuff from the past, and she's like, I don't know what you. guys are
I
talking
live
about."
in this thing called the present.
She's like, she's
I
like,
really hope my parents don't listen to this podcast.
we're like, hey, remember, yeah, Thundercats and Sonic the Hedgehog, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to.
I'm investing my money or something. It's always something that you're like, oh, you've got your head screwed on right.
She's like, I liked SpongeBob when I was a kid, but I don't really
You're like, ooh,
care about it
it's like
anymore.
what? 9/11? I don't have clear memories of that.
True, she did bring that up.
Oh my god. So I think like look, it is designed to market to people who A, have money, and B, have poor social skills, so they're still playing the floor is lava in their head. But like that's like cynically like if you want to look at like what the zeitgeist of like a society is at the time, look at the marketing material that's put out at that time. You'll get a really clear picture of like A, who has the spending power, and B, what the culture is like.
I think, although I do believe that millennials are a rebellion, or like, what is it called when you're trying to rebel? It's like
They're a counterculture.
it's countering like Gen Z
Yeah.
or Gen X and the baby boomers who are, or Gen X who really wanted to grow up. Like they couldn't wait to be
Yep.
adults. They wanted to like have cars, have kids and stuff.
And I felt that too. Like
They couldn't really wait. And then like we rebelled against that. We're like, fuck that. We're not going to have cars and kids.
yeah,
and
my dad
homes.
was sitting there like as in high school, like, why don't you want to have a car? And I'm like, well, I don't really need one. And I realized, like, even then, I was starting to realize, like, oh, like, I'm kind of being infantilized, aren't I?
Yeah, that's
Like, just
it's kind of
there's
like all
just
of us.
some like ether out there that just says, hey, like, delay that developmental process.
The economy's like, hey, we don't really have any jobs for you.
There's a
so
whole
just chill at your dad's
there's a
house for
whole
little longer.
zeitgeist out there. Yeah, so it's rough. Like, we did have some economic issues.
Boomers and Gen Z or Gen X are like, yeah, we've got the jobs already, so yeah, really get on that
Yeah,
education.
but it also
there.
doesn't help that we live in the most expensive state in the goddamn union, basically. Like New York,
It's
like
true.
New York City is the only more expensive place to live, like in general.
Yeah, I wonder if that's why maybe millennials aren't as millennial in other parts of the country.
Because we live. That's the problem. Like I'm a moderate in like the bluest state in the union, so
Mm-hmm.
like people call me an alt-righter. And
Mm-hmm.
so like it depends on where you are. Like millennials out in like probably in the Midwest are like, yeah, it just took me an extra year to get a car. Here it's like, I rent a room, and I'm in my 30s. Like so, it's a whole fucking thing.
Well, your next place is going to be your own house.
Or an apartment.
Think of it that
Hopefully an
way.
apartment. So let's
Well,
let's
maybe.
go with that. All right, listen. I was thinking I had something else I wanted to.
Well, if that's what you want, an apartment.
Well,
then
I
it's-
really had like a girlfriend, because at first I think I need a girlfriend with a job,
Mhm.
then an apartment. Like my dad's giving me shit. Like, why don't you have a grandkid for me? And I'm sitting there like, oh my god.
Has he met you?
Yes. Okay, hey, fuck you. Listen, I think I would actually be a very good father. I would teach like my girl. I think I'm gonna have a daughter, honestly, as punishment. I would teach her all sorts of skills.
What was I going to say? Well, you could like you've got so much money saved up, you can just go straight into a
I
house. dude.
for 15K,
Yeah.
No, well, in
You
two
have to give all
a
of that
condo.
up.
no,
From me, a condo.
possibly a condo, but you can get like a straight up house, 15K if you get the first time home buyers
Ooh.
thing.
Get an FHA.
You can-
FHA
I'd probably
loan.
have
You
to
can
be
get-
out in like Santee though.
25,000.
This. Do you want to know what our down payment on
What
this
was
house was? $16,000.
16K. Okay,
Yes.
so I
Wasn't it
need a
20,000?
girlfriend who's kind.
No, it was not 20. It was 16.
Well, everything turned out to be $22,000.
Okay, I need a girlfriend who's kind of an earner. I don't even need like a full on. I need her to like give me like 4K, and we'll be at like full on down payment.
Yeah.
I mean, like a regular down payment is 20%.
Right.
So depending on the value of the house that you're trying to buy, you're looking at anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, I can't do 100K.
But if you are doing first-time home buyer with an FHA loan, then it's 3.5% that you have to put down.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm drunk enough to consider this.
But I still need you to
Continue
live
to
here
pay
for
rent.
another couple years. Or
A
so.
couple of years. Okay, so I can like if I find a woman who's willing to touch my penis, I can bring her here though.
For a little, yeah. Sometimes here, sometimes
Okay,
in the car.
out in the driveway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no cops ever come through here, so it's fine. Oh my god, this is worse than I ever thought. This is both worse and better than I thought this episode would turn out into. I exposed my wealth to like all of 3 of our listeners. Oh my god. All right, look,
I'm not ready to expose my
it's fine.
large sum yet.
Listen,
I'll do it one of these
listen.
days.
Either I need to be super poor or super rich to be like, yeah, I'm worth like a shitload of money, or I'm worth like nothing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
When I'm ready to reveal it.
Yeah, once you're willing to reveal it, you're gonna be that guy who like is like worth $20 million but still drives like a Prius.
No, I think when I get to the $2 million net worth.
Oh yeah. All
Shit,
suits.
heck,
You're gonna be.
probably. No, actually, no. It's all gonna be like boating attire.
Oh, that's even better.
like casual.
Oh
Boating
yeah,
attire.
it's gonna be
No.
yacht
Boating
rock,
shoes.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
do this podcast in your yacht.
So it's gonna be.
No.
I'm not gonna get a boat, but I'm just gonna wear boating attire.
That's that's like me when I thought about like I don't want to drive a motorcycle, but I want like the clout. So I'm just gonna drive it. I'm just gonna walk into like a bar wearing riding leathers and having the helmet under my
Well,
arm.
One day I'm gonna walk into a bar with boating attire, and you're gonna walk in with motorcycle attire, and people are gonna be like, "Hey, those guys have boats and
Whoa,
motorcycles."
dude!
And then they're gonna try to approach us about like boats and motorcycles, and we're not gonna know anything about.
We're gonna fake it. We're gonna look up to the fun line. we're gonna bring home some chicks, but we're gonna bring it home in your Prius. And you're like, no, the boat's in the dock, and my motorcycle's on his boat. We're going to like Alaska to do motorcycle riding, but you should still have sex with us now.
I have another boat. Sometimes he jumps his motorcycle on one of my boats onto
Yeah,
the
you
other
ever see
boat.
Starsky and Hutch? Oh no, you're not a millennial who saw the Starsky and Hutch like remake. Oh shit.
Yeah, we can get some Gen Z
Oh, we
girls,
could totally do that.
and then we can be like, "Oh, you haven't heard of that? Oh, you haven't heard of? Oh, you haven't seen Family Matters?"
Okay, look,
Just do that for like
30 minutes.
an hour.
You never saw. You don't.
And never
You
get
don't know who
laid
Steve
the
Urkel-
entire
You don't know
time.
You don't know who
Alf?
Steve Urkel is? What the fuck?
This is how you two die unhappy and alone.
Well,
What?
listen, I'm already unhappy and alone, so all I need to do is the dying part, and I'm good.
I think this is pretty funny. I'm exposed. I used to think it was cool to be like, "Oh, you haven't seen that one episode of the Super Ninja Turtles when it was Dare and they got the Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbusters?"
Oh, that was great.
You haven't seen that crossover before?
Fucking- like, listen, I just saw the like a month ago. I saw the.
And then like millennials or Gen Z are like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why is that even? What is Dare and why
Dare,
is it
God.
cool that the Ghostbusters and the Ninja Turtles were
Like,
together?"
okay.
It's like you don't
The
understand.
fucking ninja. They were ninjas. They were turtles, and they were teenagers. What the fuck is there not to understand?
And they're trying to get us to not do drugs.
it
It
was
was
the
like,
best. Reagan was sitting.
you know, Avengers. This was like Avengers before
Before
Avengers.
Before they put.
Every Saturday morning cartoon was in the same cartoon.
Okay, look.
Crossovers didn't exist until then. It blew our fucking minds.
Oh God, we're. Oh, is this what it is to be old? Okay. Look.
Yeah, so I'm making fun of
Yes,
myself
we
for
are.
doing that.
I'm.
So when
Oh,
we meet
you're in our
actual
age group.
people,
Shut up.
when we meet actual people, we're going to talk about
I am
current
5
events.
and 6 years younger than the two of
We're
you.
going to talk
so-
about current events and things that adults
Okay, you're
do
robbing
now.
the cradle, Victor. Good Lord. Okay.
Talk about things that adults do now.
What do adults do now? Apparently, they occupy.
Cry.
They occupy Seattle. There you go.
Adulting.
We adult. Okay. One more thing I want to say before we hit up. Actually, I'm gonna start doing this right now. Shit. That's the commercial before the thing. I recently started my P5 Academy opened up again, and I did sparring. I'm super sore because I worked muscles I haven't worked in a while from punching, and B, I was rusty, so I got punched in the face a bunch. But I also punched a bunch of people in the face because they're rusty too.
It's good. You get out and you do a martial
Yes,
art.
I do. So like, my cardio was good because I've been running, but my striking was weak because I haven't been striking. I told you, Victor, you need to spar with me, and you were like, no.
Just punch him in the face every
Yeah,
opportunity you get. Just surprise
Do the
punch
Pink
him.
Panther thing and just attack me when I walk into the house. All right, so that being said, after I asked Victor to punch me, thanks for listening to the Transmit podcast. I think this was a very fun. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
I'm your host, Spike,
I'm Samantha.
and we'll see you
Victor.
next time.